We don't play the social game. We are social. Power 98.5. You're listening to Power 98.5, powered by United Angels Dream, your number one resource for public relations, entertainment, and multimedia. Contact them today at unitedangelsdream.com.
Hi, this is Dan Aykroyd. He's progressive. He's beautiful. He's thoughtful. He's intelligent. He's powerful. He's positive. He is Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5 Satellite Radio.
Prepare yourself.
Okay, let's go.
Empowering listeners from the US to the UK. Live on air with Stephen Cuoco.
Good morning, everyone. You're live on air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5. I've got my good friend here, Mr. Robert Duran Jr. How are you, Robert?
I'm doing great, Mr. Stephen Cuoco. Thank you. How are you?
Hey, no complaints. I was watching your Instagram feeds and stories last night. It seems like you and your kids were having a great time out and about during Halloween.
Yeah, took them to do the natural, the normal trick-or-treating around. So they can have a little fun, get out the house.
So what have you been up to these days? Bring us up to date, up to speed on what's happening in your life and what's going on about a soon-to-be fight that's hopefully coming up, correct?
Right. I just been training, in the gym, staying busy. I don't do much other than just go to the gym and go home. That's basically my job. So that's what I stay focused on that.
Mm-hmm.
And also a potential fight was supposed to be for November 14th, but that's the negotiations for that's not going too good.
Okay.
So we're going to try and move it. We're trying to get another date for November 20th out here in Florida. So hopefully that works out because that'd be way better for the entire team. So that's what's on schedule now. Hopefully we can make that happen.
Are you going to still be at the same location or are you going to be at a different location?
No, the November 14th was in New Hampshire. This one, the November 20th that we're trying to push for is here in Miami, Florida.
Well, I know Alfie's going to keep me abreast. He did promise, and I do trust him about that, but definitely keep me posted as well because I was thinking, all right, I told Alfie, I said, I never been to New Hampshire. I know it's not convenient coming out of the tri-state area to go to New Hampshire because there's no direct flight. So knowing that this is going to happen in Florida, I would definitely rather come to Florida than be flying to New Hampshire.
Right. It's just much convenient, much better for everybody.
Absolutely.
Especially my family. They haven't. The last time my family got to be at one of my fights was when I pro debuted back in 2018. And that's been the only time I fought here in Florida. So if we can tie this up for the 20th in Miami, it'd be completely better for everybody. Have my family there, all my close friends there.
And I agree with you. And a big warm shout out to Warren Boxing Management, Alfie, Robert, the entire team over there. You've got some great people around you.
Yeah, most definitely, man. It was a blessing to get with those guys and work with those guys, in the boxing industry because, they're all good guys. They all are for their fighters and moving their fighters directly and, the best interest of their fighters. And it's just a blessing to be with them. I couldn't ask for something better than that.
What really inspired you to sign with Warren Boxing Management?
Warren Boxing Management in the UK, they're the Warrens, is big in boxing. You know what I mean? The name is big. Their company. One of my good sponsors that I know for a while now, Johnny Jab from Jab Signature. He knows them, so he brought my name up to them. One of the promoters Mo Prier from Priority Boxing. He was actually at one of my fights in New York last year, and he saw me fight. So him and Alfie Warren were in talks about me, and we finally made it happen. We all got in a call. We talked about what the plans was. Everything was good, and here we are now.
It's a good fit. It's a really, really good fit. And the decision
Indeed.
that you made, Warren Boxing Management made, you've got a lot of great things to look for. And for building the Duran name and the legacy that you're leaving for yourself and for your children and that you're building with your family is really remarkable.
Yes, it's a lot of work. My dad, he established his already. He left his legacy, but I picked it up. I picked it up, and I'm continuing the legacy. But I'm forming my own path. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm creating my own path. I'm keeping the name alive, and then that's just what it is right now.
When people hear the name Robert Duran Jr., knowing that you are doing things very differently, you are a instrument to the boxing industry, you are a champion and legacy and very powerful influence for your family, your children, the powerful impact that you are building with your kids. What I see online, the love, the support, it's moving. And it's so different than it seems from your own childhood. And you have taken something that reminded me of a quote, and I'm going to pull it up right now because it's something I wanted to read to you. And it's something that I read today, and it's by John Wooden. And it says, things turn out the best for people who make the best of the way things turned out. How do you feel about that?
Powerful. That's powerful. That's powerful because at the end of the day, it really is what you make of it. You could either, if you're given something in life and you don't decide to do nothing with it, then you just let something potential good go away, go down the drain. But if you take it and do something with it, you can get far, you can get somewhere with that in life. And that's basically how I am. I was given a gift with this boxing stuff. I had two choices. I could either not follow boxing or do what I'm doing now, but I know that what I'm supposed to be doing is what I'm doing now, continuing my career, following, and creating my own footsteps that my father already created, but it's just a big move. It's just a big blessing for me, man, to be here doing that.
I feel that you've answered it, but if I can ask you and go a little bit deeper, how important is it to you to build your own name? And what does it mean to you? What does the name Duran mean to you and you only for yourself now and for your future and the future of your children?
I mean, Duran is going to be a name that's going to be around for years and years to come, especially in the boxing world, really, really, really big name. And for me, it's important because, I know this is, I don't try to bring up my father too much, but, at the end of the day, he's the one that began with everything, so I always shed light on my father and what he's done. And then to continue that name for me, to keep it up at the highest standard, especially is for my family, there's no words really that can express that, it's just a big honor to me. Really, really big honor.
While building your legacy, your personal and professional championship and respect and honor for yourself. I always say to professionals like you, you don't need, nor do you require anyone's permission to validate you. Unless, Robert, it is your law, it is your God-given right of free will to make it your law and your priority to wait for someone to say who you are, what you're supposed to be. That's one thing. But I don't believe that it's something that you need nor warranted no matter what the circumstances may be. Do you see where I'm going with this? Exactly, yes. You know, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it regardless. You know, I don't need nobody to tell me, okay, you're allowed to do it now. Now is the time. Like, no. You know, this is what it is already set in stone. It's my decision, it's my move, and it's going to be made regardless if people like it or not. 1,000,000,000,000%. Seriously, I can relate to you when I was, there's so much media coverage and about you, and I was going through quite a bit of it, and I wanted to learn more of what was out there, what was being talked about, what was being shared. And as your fans, I'm sure and I'm very confident that they know, separate the legacy of where you come from to who you really are and what your law is and what your God-given right of will and willpower and what legacy means to you. It speaks volumes because there is a distinct understanding of where you come from, yet there's such an open platform of what I've seen every single time, Robert, is, and if no one's ever asked you, is what in itself in who Robert Duran Jr. is, or should I just say who Robert is, who you just are, what would you say in putting it into words if you never met me at all? If, first time meeting someone, how would you define yourself and say, in what words, this is who I am? Describe yourself. I'm just a cool, laid back guy, a normal person like everybody else, If I haven't met you before, never spoken to you over the phone call or meeting for the first time in person, you would just meet me as a regular person. You'd know me as Rob, It's like any normal individual you will run into and meet, and you just catch a good vibe with it. You like, man, I like that guy. He's a good guy, he holds in composure. That's just how I am, as a person. As Robert Duran, that's just me. Normal guy. I don't put myself above nobody, because everybody in this world is equal. We're all equal as one. We all got different paths. We all, do different things. But that's just how I put myself as Robert Duran. It's me. Normal individual just trying to strive for perfection, and make it in something. Make it in this life that we live in this world. That's basically what it boils down to, Steve. If I may ask, Robert, what does perfection mean to you? Because I know it's different meaning for everyone. Perfection, like with my career perfection, perfection for me would be, being at the highest level, achieving my dreams, accomplishing my dreams, world titles, making sure my family is established, making sure that I've set the foundation for my kids, that they won't have to go through anything that I've went through, so where they could just live life comfortably, me being able to provide for them, for my family. That's what I look at as perfection. Because I'm still on that path. I'm still on that road working to get to that level. And I know I'm going to get there one time, one day, so I don't stop working hard. I'm always working 100% and I'm always working hard. But that's what I look at as perfection. when you're
when I reach that level of perfection. Yeah.
when you're training, and thank you for sharing that. My apologies if I cut you off too soon. Remember, this is your time. You dominate this. You have my full permission to dominate this interview.
You got it.
When you're training, Rob, what goes through your head in and out of the ring, whether you're in the ring, using a punching bag, lifting weights? What drives you?
What drives me in training camp, in the gym, especially in the gym, because everything starts in the gym. I always tell myself what I'm doing this for. I've always tell myself what the goal is, what the plan is. My strive is my children. Every time I'm in the gym training hard, I think about my kids. I'm like, I got to make sure I train hard because, like I said earlier, I want to set the foundations for them. I don't want them to go through anything that I went through, So when I go in that gym, that's what I think about. And not just that, when I go in the gym, I want to be in the gym. I train like I train like a world champion. I train like I'm going for a title or like I have the titles. That's what keeps me going. That fire, that torch inside me, it's lit and it's burning. It's not going to be put out because I wouldn't allow anything for it to put it out. So when I go in there with that mindset, I go in there focused. I go in there ready. I know what my goals are. I know what I have to do every day. I know what I have to work on in the gym every day. So when I go in that ring and perform and win, it's exactly how I worked out in training camp. So that's what strives, it's my kids that pushes me from where I came from. The lifestyle I used to live before, all that pushes me. All that makes me strive even harder.
Do you ever battle with yourself when trying to find balance between training, fighting, and family? And if you do, how do you establish that balance, Robert, so that you're not in a place of anxiousness, worry, fear, anxiety about your training, your career, taking away from your time with your family?
See, that's one thing that me and my wife established a long time ago because she understands what I'm doing. She understands that, boxing is a very risky sport, for a lot of us fighters. It's a dangerous sport, and she understands that. She understands that my training is very important. So she understands, and we all came to an understanding. So when I'm in training, it's training time. When I'm home, it's family time. When I leave for those fights, she knows that I'm in the zone. She knows that I need to be focused. So there's never a mix-up. There's never a misunderstanding. And there's always a balance. There's always a balance. We're always on the same page. So none of that never, I'm never thrown off by any of that. I'm always in the right state of mind just because we established that a long time ago, and it just works. It's just been working perfectly for me, for us.
Do you ever feel like time is not on your side? And before you answer that, Robert, the reason why I asked is because there was a reference about time and age in one of the news articles about you. Is that reality or your truth that because of age or time, is it not on your side? Or do you feel and believe that you can do what you want, when you want, make it how you want, at any time, at any age?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes it does sit in the back of my mind because I tell myself, man, I wish I had, more time. I wish I was here sooner, before. But I got around it to understanding that it's always on God's time when He allows you to do something. You may have the talent and the gift for something, but if God doesn't let you do it at that time, He's not going to let you do it at that time. So with that, and with my corner, family, everybody around me, keeping me in my right state of mind with that, like, listen, now was your time. You weren't here before, but don't worry about that. Focus on now, because now is when you're doing it. Now is when God is allowing you to do this. Everything, God works in a mysterious way. And this is how I look at it. So at the end of the day, the age doesn't affect me, because I'm doing it now and I'm going to keep doing it. I take care of myself. I eat my proper foods. I train hard. I stay healthy. I'm in the greatest shape of my life. So that age thing really doesn't affect me at all anymore. It did before, but not at all no more.
And with answering that, here's a question you may like, and I hope you like, because it just came to me and I wrote it down. Do you believe that that what you have been through has given you the peace to be where you are at now in your life?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. A lot of people want to think that just because my father is who he is, that I was raised with him, or whatever the case is. But people don't know me. People don't know who Robert Duran Jr. is, or who I am by legal name. They just know what they read in articles. They just know what I tell them. Because when I speak, I don't go into detail. I speak very minimum. I keep everything to a minimum. But from what I've been through, it has molded me. It has shaped me. I've made it this far. So it plays a really, really big part of my life. It really does. So people that really, really know me can sit there and tell you exactly the same thing I'm telling you, without cutting around, without, bull crapping you, without none of that. And I'm proud of that. I really am proud of that.
And you deserve to be. And you just celebrated a reason why, because your birthday was just the other day.
It was on Saturday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Well, it was Wednesday, but it was last Wednesday, but we celebrated, the whole week.
Well, let me give something here, and I'm going to do this with love. And I'm sure all the listeners and fans do it along with us. Happy birthday. That's right.
Thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate that, man. You're the best.
You're welcome. You deserve it. I'm going to tell you, having the opportunity of getting to know you, the connection with you, with Warren Boxing Management, you are someone not to underestimate. I believe that you are a man that is very much an introvert, but we're all balanced of introvert and extrovert, but you're an introvert with eyes that see everything, with ears that hear everything. Even though I'm getting more of a vibe that you're much more of a visual person. You can remember things. You can leave your home and say, be gone for a year. You'll know exactly when you walk in your home. You're going to sense if somebody was in there. You'll walk in a room. You'll know exactly if something was touched, even after not looking at it for a year.
Most definitely.
And that in this time of healing and recognizing you're deserving, you are, once again, I believe people are underestimating you, and they're going to regret it. And they're going to be like, wow. And you want to know why? Because, to digress back a little bit, as you said before, Robert, that, it's in God's timing. And you haven't been pushed back. I believe you haven't been held back. You have been in the world of strengthening your spirit, strengthening your emotional, mental, and physical ability. And when God says, pull back the curtain, all hell's going to break loose.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely.
And
Most
you
definitely.
know it, because it's a fire inside of you that I feel, that I know you feel. And that's why I say to anyone who's ever written, talked about, assumed, or speculated that age is going to be an issue with you, go sit down and have a cupcake. Okay.
Yeah, they're gonna need more than a cupcake.
Oh yeah. Because
they're gonna need more than just a cupcake.
And you're not sharing your birthday cake either. So if anyone gets that, yeah, you're gonna have your cake and eat it too, Mr. Robert.
Oh, most definitely. Oh yes.
It's
oh man.
It really is. I believe, and this is something I would like to be transparent with you in saying, because I was wondering how much should I say online, live. I'm very much a private person like you. I'm very much an introvert. Life had forced me to be an extrovert due to my background, and I understand what you've gone through, especially when it comes to establishing identity, establishing that perseverance, coming from a past that, everything had to be perfect. My parents who adopted me were, deacons in a church. They were missionaries. They come from a generation where you sweep everything underneath the carpet. You don't, before you walk out the door, button up those buttons, tighten up that tie, and you let the church and neighborhood and everybody think that everything is fine. And then you leave the shit behind closed doors. And I had a problem with that. I didn't like that at all. And I wasn't going to let the church, I wasn't going to let school, I wasn't going to let anyone tell me what and how I needed to be as a young man or as a man or as a professional. Because I knew, just like that your voice, what your narrative is, Robert, is yours. And it's your God-given right to find what that means to you, as I did for myself. That's just it.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. 100%. I get on a lot of these interviews, and it just gets flooded with negativity because, people just speak just to speak, say just to say things because they don't really know the truth. They don't know anything. Just ignorant statements. It's like people speak on me like they know who I am, like they know my life, like they know what I've been through. I'm like, how can people be, so blind? How can people, be like that? They don't know me from a hole in the wall. And then the first thing they bring up, oh, he's old to be doing this or this and that. I'm like, listen, man, just because you're old and you're not doing anything with your life, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen to me. I'm out and about doing stuff. I got goals to achieve, levels to reach, keep moving up. But you know how that is, Steve. You've been through the same thing. I'm pretty sure you know exactly how that goes.
And
but all that motivates me. All that is fire. All that's extra fuel to the fire, man. I don't take it in a personal. I don't take it any negative way. I just take it and be like, okay, yeah, no problem. Cool. It's always going to be people like that.
Your situation, Robert, is an anomaly. And why I say that is, I'm 46 years old. I've been in the industry doing PR, working in the entertainment industry for 28 years. Working with businesses, corporate companies, professionals as a consultant. And I can assure you, especially with understanding the business side of sports and your industry, is that you did everything the right way for you. Why? And I have to go back by saying age is not, doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter to put that out there, is because, as you know, a lot of young men and women go through what you went through as a kid with your dad. The absentee, the strive of what professionals and athletes go through, of that number one drive that is normally said, that's usually in the top 2 to 3 questions, if not always number one: family, family, family. You guys do it for the family. But young men and women that enter into sports and into these professional fields are young. They're not around for their children. They're not around for their wives. The divorce rate is absolutely high. Separation rate is absolutely high. For you to be able to find the peace from your past, the peace the best that you can with is your business, with your family, your dad, and then also to be able to have all the best years with your children that are at such a young, vulnerable age, to create something as well as a dialogue to where they're going to be able to understand when dad's around and when dad's not around, but they're going to be in such a place with you to where they're going to understand, and it's going to be understood and respected in a way to where it's not like what you went through. That's what my heart tells me. That's what I truly believe, that you will have the type of relationship, Robert, with your children much more peacefully and freely, to be able for you to perform your greatness than what most people, over 98% in the industry, won't be able to, because they're always going to go home and they're going to have that burden in the ring, out of the ring, because of that vacancy, and wanting to know, oh my God, is my loved one or loved one's going to be there when I get home?
I'm sorry to cut you off, Steve.
No, God, I was going to say, you're not going to have that worry.
No. I'm just, that's a blessing, man. That's for me not to have that worry is a blessing, because it just allows me to focus at 1,000%. No worries. My kids know what I'm doing, and they're young. They're still young, and they understand when there's certain times that I'm not at the house. They know I'm at the gym working. When I'm at fights, they understand that. Same thing with my wife. So in reality, I have no worries. And me and my father, me and my pops were distance. We were distance. We went a long, long time without speaking, with that side of the family. And we just started, through one of my oldest brothers. We just started, speaking again. So everything is working out perfectly. Little by little, smaller changes are being made within the family. So it's just bettering, my position, just bettering my mind. And it allows me to keep, going in that straight line, and I'm thankful for that.
How do you want your children to remember you? And I'm not talking about when you transition out of your human body and cross over. I mean, as you are building and progressing your career, your name, your image and reputation, Robert, how do you want your children to continue to remember you in and out of the ring, on TV, off TV, everywhere you're at?
I just want my kids to see that, I want them to say, oh man, my father did everything he could for us. My dad did his best. My dad was the best at home. My dad was the best in the ring, in the gym. Everything he did was for us. The legacy he left, Exactly. My dad was the best. He did everything he could for us. That's what we're grateful of. That's how I want my children to remember me. That they understand the work that I put in for them. The amount of work that I put in and out of the gym, in their life, not just in boxing, but in, just their life, period. My dad did what he could. He did it to the best of his abilities. And that's really what it is. Steve. That's really what it is.
And
I
you've
put
got
my 100% in everything.
and you've got 2 daughters and 1 boy, right?
No, I got 2 boys and a daughter.
Oh, really?
I got a 12-year-old that lives in New York.
Mhm.
I got my 10-year-old son, and I got a 10-month-year-old.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I know the 10-month-year-old because there's a lot with you and your baby on Instagram.
Right. And 2 stepdaughters. 2 stepdaughters.
Okay.
That's probably what you were referring to.
Yeah, I thought they were your daughters. Okay.
No, those are my 2 stepdaughters.
Well, you're raising them as your own, I'm sure.
Of course.
I hope. Are you proud of yourself? Honestly, do you, in this very moment, sharing what you've shared, do you feel proud?
I do. You know, I feel proud. I feel good about myself, happy about myself because I'm doing it. You know, it's not just speaking on it. I'm actually doing it. You know, and I've been doing it, and I'm gonna keep doing it, Steve. So for me to feel proud, extremely. You know, I got my wife, one of the best, holding me down. So I can't complain, man. I'm happy. And that's how it goes.
What's the number one thing that comes to your mind, Robert, that you've learned in life that you believe everyone from all walks of life, no matter what they're doing, what their career is, what have you learned that would be the golden nugget and words of wisdom for someone to take with them from this interview?
Like, what I would say is that it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter what type of goals you're trying to reach in life. At the end of the day, you have to be happy with yourself. You got to have a plan. And if now is the time that God is allowing you, then you take that step forward and you make it happen. Regardless of any negativity, regardless of anything. You know you have a purpose. You take your purpose and you run with it. You push forward until you prevail to the top. And that's what I can tell everybody.
Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, my friend?
You know, I want to give a shout out, of course, to Warren Boxing Management, Priority Promotions, Johnny Jab, and Signature, all my fans, all my supporters. A big shout out to you, Steve, for taking the time and having me on the show, man. I really do appreciate it. It was perfect because I felt like I've got to really just speak to you. It didn't feel like an interview. It was like just 2 men speaking back and forth, I really do appreciate that, man. And thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Most people know in the industry I don't do bullshit journalism. And I don't even prepare questions. Like I had about 2 written down. One came to me as you were talking, and I'm going to be honest. I pray before every interview. I go in, I look at what's going on in people's lives. Like I was looking into your life, looked into your past, and the past is not important to me. It's what's happening now. And I felt confident that I understood you. I just wanted to look to see if there was anything else, my angels, God, the universe, or the above, if there was anything else that was meant for you in this moment. And I let you as the person, as the guest. This is your time, not my time. This is about you. That's why we're here, to be able to let me how the interview is going to go. I'm not into controlling things if it doesn't need to be. Like you said, 2 guys having a conversation. You can't get better than that.
It's perfect. It didn't feel weird. It didn't feel awkward. I wasn't tense. It was normal. Like if we would meet face to face, we're bonding, having a good time, speaking.
It's how it should be. Thank you. It's how it should be. It works. I want to thank everyone for joining Robert Duran Jr. and I today, live on air with Stephen Cuoco on Power 98.5. Robert has a home here on Power 98.5. You're going to definitely be able to have the opportunity to tune in for more live interviews with Robert. I do post these episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, but I also re-air them Monday through Friday, sometimes on a weekend, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can download the app, tune in on Alexa. Power 98.5 is syndicated on Streama, Radio Line, MyTuner, and several other platforms. Robert, I know that we're still waiting on the details for the Florida November 20th fight. Would you be posting those online? Would Warren Boxing Management be posting those? Where can your fans and the listeners at Power 98.5 and people that are tuning in be able to get that information once it comes out?
Yeah, my social media, if you're following me on Instagram, Robert.Duran Jr. Or on Facebook or Twitter. On my Twitter is at Duran Jr. 88, and Facebook is Robert Duran Jr. So once I get word of confirmation that is a go, me and also my team will be posting that, and everybody could just go on there and look and see exactly when is the date. As soon as we get a word.
And definitely, because I want to get down there, especially knowing it's going to be on the 20th, because Yahoo Finance is going to be doing a huge media spread. I have to be in D.C. early for the photo shoot, early December. It was actually going to be November. So this works out perfect that I would be able to have the opportunity to come to Florida. I'll bring my camera, get behind the scenes content with you and for you. I told Alfie I definitely want to have a media pass and find out if they're going to have like an extra room or something. So I definitely want to sort this out sooner than later.
And I hope everything falls through. I hope we can make it happen because, it'd be great for everything. Great to meet you in person too, Steve.
Absolutely. And we can do a live interview while I'm there.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yes, sir.
Robert, please stay on the line. We're going to close out. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Go follow Robert Duran Jr., Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Warren Boxing Management. And thank you for joining us today, live on air, Power 98.5.
Friend us on your socials and let's connect.